In this online pattern cutting tutorial, I will be showing you how to create an A-line skirt. We'll be working with the WOMENSWEAR half-scale block patterns, which you already have. So I'm going to start off by marking the centre front line of the skirt using a pink pen here, just so we can see what it is. I'm going to write CF on there. And then I'm going to mark the hip line. I'm going to draw at a 90-degree angle. That's you can see the 90-degree angle there on my grader ruler, straight across, and this is going to be the hip line. And then at another 90-degree angle, I'm going to mark my centre back line, again using my pink pen so it's distinctive. So I'm going to write CB on there, and then I'm going to get my block and I'm going to line up the blocks along my hip line. So then I'm going to trace the blocks onto the paper. Before going any further, I like to mark on my centre front, both side seams and my centre back onto the pattern, as I'm going to be cutting it up later and I don't want to get confused. Okay, so I want to make the skirt a little bit longer, remembering we're working on half scale here, so 1 centimetre half scale would be 2 centimetres full scale. So we're just going to add 1 centimetre to the hem here, and we're doing that by putting the 1 centimetre line on top of the original line and just increasing the length. And then we just need to fill it in slightly at the side seams. And I usually put a cross through the old line so I don't get confused. And that's a good thing about having the blocks lined up like this. Whatever you do to the front, you do to the back. It's very easy to see. Okay, so now I'm going to cut them out. Okay, so we're going to need a fresh piece of paper now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the dots. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to cut through that central line. And once I've cut through that central line, I can just place the dart legs on top of each other. It doesn't matter which side at all. And then we're going to close up that dart. And you can see that when you close up the dart, you actually add volume into the bottom of the skirt. And this is what creates the A-line shape. So whatever I do to the back, I need to do to the front. So cut up through that line, through either side of the darts. And then if we just close up that dart and we add the volume into the bottom of the skirt, and that's basically our A-line shape. And now I need to draw in the hemline. So that just needs to be a nice smooth line, just a slight curve on it. So now we just need to add a seam allowance to our skirt. Remember, we're working half scale, so we're just going to add half a centimetre seam allowance this time rather than a centimetre. So what we do is we put our half centimetre line on top of our original line, or what would be our sewing line, and we add the extra half a centimetre. Sort of similar to how we made the length longer. Then we also need to just mark on there the little notches that are going to go. So I'm going to go through all of this terminology on the PowerPoint next week, by the way. We'll go through seam allowances and notches and all those kind of things because we haven't done that much on them so far. The thing to remember about seam allowance is you only have seam allowance where there's a seam. So obviously, because our skirt, the front of our skirt is symmetrical, it's cut on the fold, there's no need for you to add seam allowance at the centre front. You do need to add it at the centre back, however, because this is where we're going to put our zip so that you can get the skirt on and off. And once that's done, we just need to cut it out. And once we've cut that out, we just need to annotate onto our pattern pieces. So on the back skirt, we want to cut 1 pair. On the front, we're going to cut on the fold. So we just want to mark on cut 1 on the fold. Our grain line remains the same. And basically that's us finished our A-line skirt.